Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss about one of the applications of solar thermal energy. So, we have discussed about various applications of solar thermal energy for heating, water heating, then air heating in the air heaters. Then we have seen for desalination of water, then solar pond, then power production. Another important area of application of solar thermal energy is the space heating. This is especially useful in the cold countries. So it is used, solar thermal energy is utilized to heat air, incoming air into the room or house. So the hot air heated using the solar thermal radiation is circulated naturally or mechanically to maintain a higher temperature in a closed space than its surroundings. As I mentioned, it is very useful in cold countries. So there are two different methods of space heating known as active and passive. What is the difference? So active, you require some external energy to run the fans or pumps to maintain the circulation of hot air. Okay, there should be some active component, some external energy is required to maintain the flow in these devices. But in again these electrical appliances like fans or pumps could be again run by solar energy using photovoltaic or so. That is another part. But in passive space heating system, it completely relies on the various modes of heat transfer to spread the thermal energy throughout the space being heated. So first we will see what is passive solar heating. So for example, the passive heating up of inside the car when it is parked under a sun. So the interior of the car will get heated up as a result of greenhouse effect created by passing through the solar radiation thermal energy through the glass, windshield and windows. Then another example is greenhouses effective at growing plants all year round in the polar regions. So this passive solar heating does not involve, underline that, does not involve any mechanical devices. So naturally, either by conduction, convection or radiation, the heat transfer is happening. But the important thing to be noted is the design of the room or the home should be in such a way that it allows heat from the sun to enter in the winter and should be rejected the solar energy, the thermal energy to be rejected in the summer months. That is very important. So the construction stage itself, it should be decided whether we need to allow passive solar heating or not. As per the Sustainable Building Source Book, this is the explanation for passive solar heating. It refers to the use of the sun's energy for the heating and cooling of living spaces. It's not only involves heating but cooling also, using solar energy appropriately to maintain a comfort level temperature inside the house. So in this approach, the building itself or some element of it takes advantage of natural energy characteristics in materials of construction and air created by exposure to the sun. So the selection of materials in the building very important. So nowadays, you know that in the developed countries, it is very important to select appropriate materials in the energy modeling of the building. So, in the design or architectural stage itself, the modeling is known as energy modeling. The least energy should be consumed while its construction as well as in the operation. So, maximum natural lighting as well as utilization of solar thermal energy is very important. So, passive systems are simple. They have only a few moving parts. I mean, few moving parts. There are no moving parts at all, and require minimal maintenance and require no mechanical systems. So, this is the definition and explanation for passive solar heating as per Sustainable Building Sourcebook. Look back to the history. The use of passive solar heating dates back to the Roman Empire. They built windows into their bathhouses to allow the sun to shine through. When the empire collapsed, the use of glass disappeared until 17th century, after the collapse of this Roman Empire. Again, late in 19th century, building designers started incorporating windows into their designs to increase the quality of living and working conditions. So, if you allow the natural lighting to enter during the daytime, we can avoid the use of artificial lighting. It is another way of energy conservation. So here you can see the design of a house which utilizes passive solar heating with minimum heating bills. You can see here the different timings. The position of the sun in the sky will be different during the summer and winter. So the windows as well as the roof positioning are very important. So we can have some solar water heat collectors on the roof. During the summer, the solar energy will be coming like this. The position of the sun will be high in the sky, so it will be directly falling on the roof. So it will not enter inside the room. But in the winter, when the sun is low in the sky, the thermal radiation will be allowed to enter to the room. This blue arrows shows that. This is another a line diagram which shows the same what we have explained in the previous slide. So this is simply made by using the seasonal angles to our advantage designing with nature. So 2 foot eaves, this is known as eave. Okay, they are the edges of the roof which overhang the face of a wall. So this is known as the eave. So a 2 foot eave will suffice the need to allow the solar energy to pass into the room during the winter and stopping the solar energy in the summer. So, so in the summer you can see the sun is high in the sky and this eave will not allow the solar energy into the room. The roof will block it. So according to the location, it should be designed properly. So in the northern hemisphere, a good passive solar design uses south-facing windows. So if we are situating, if we are in northern hemisphere, if we are living in the northern hemisphere, so the south-facing windows are installed in the design to capture the sun's rays. In the winter, sorry, when the sun is positioned low in the sky, the southern facing windows allow the sun's rays to enter through the window, as we have seen in the previous slide. So, in the summer months, the roof, the eave will stop the solar rays without entering into the room. That will keep the home cool. So, beyond being positioned correctly, a passive solar heating design will also depend on thermal mass of the walls, so the material. So how much energy the wall material of the wall will store, how much heat dissipation may happen during the night time, as well as the flooring and other objects within the home, whether it the heat capacity of these objects, including the walls and floors as well as the roof, is low or high. So everything will be um, deciding the passive solar heating. Now coming to the active solar heating, this involves moving parts, mechanical components. So they rely strongly on three components: a solar collector to absorb solar energy, a solar storage system, and a heat transfer system to disperse the heat from the storage system to the appropriate places. So there should be a collector, then a storage, then heat transfer system. So heat exchanger or a blower, a fan. So it can be divided. Active solar space heating system can be divided into two: air systems and liquid systems. Air and liquid system, depending on the working fluid employed. So here you can see an active solar heating device, a system. There is a collector, okay, a pump maintains the flow through the collector, and there is a heat exchanger. Here you can see a heat exchanger, double wall heat exchanger, from which this acts as a storage. This is a storage tank from which the heat will be transferred to the secondary fluid, and the secondary fluid again is maintained in the secondary circuit. The flow is maintained using the pump, and you can have an auxiliary heater using electricity or any other renewable source of energy depending on the requirement. So this is a summary: the passive and active. Passive solar system, the design of the roof and the walls themselves are sufficient to maintain the appropriate temperature inside the house, but in active solar system you require mechanical devices such as pumps, heat exchangers, fans or blowers to maintain a lower temperature or a higher temperature than its surroundings. I hope it was useful. It is very simple, but the different methods as well as the technology behind it is a bit interesting to understand. So if you have any doubts, please contact me in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe to get the notifications in the future. Please share to your friends, those who are working in energy or those who are studying in the UG level. Thank you.